Hi, this video is a continuation from my previous video where we looked at writing numbers as a product of their prime factors. And what we're going to do in this video is see how we can use that to look at two numbers or more and find out what is the highest common factor. So what is the biggest factor that two numbers have in common? Right, if you feel confident, you could pause the video and try and find these two numbers, 360 and 78, as a product of their prime factors. If you're not feeling confident, I'll go through it together. I'm going to do it quite quickly, but you can pause or watch again if you want to. Let's start by writing up prime numbers. And the more you do this, the more you will get to know these smaller prime numbers. Okay, so there's the first few. Let's go. So we're looking at 360, which is even. So 2 is going to be a prime factor. And that will, if we divide 360 by 2, we are left with 180. Still even, so we're going to do the same again. Divide by 2 and we get 90. As long as it remains even, we can keep going. 90 factor of 2 means we're left with 45. And now no longer an even number, so let's move along and see if 3 is a factor. Well, yes, it is. And if you remember from my last video, I said if the digits add up to multiple of 3, then 3 is a factor. Only works with 3s and 9s. So 4 and 5 is 9, so it definitely can be divided by 3. 3s into 4 goes 1, remainder 1. 3s into 15 goes 5. Going to need a longer length here, aren't I? 15 again has a factor of 3, divide by 3 and we get 5, and so I can now take out that factor of 5 and I'm left with 1. Let's extend that line. Okay, so 360, big number, so lots of prime factors there, but once you get into the habit of this, it's quite quick to do, particularly if you're good with your tables. So let's write 360 as a product of its primes, and it would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. And of course I can simplify that to 2 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 2 times 5. Good. Let's go back to red and let's do the second number, which is 78. 78 is even, so we can take out a prime factor of 2. If we divide by 2, we are going to get 39. 39, no longer even, but we can take out a factor of 3. 39 divided by 3 will give us 13. 13 is prime, so we can take that out. We divide by 13 and we're left with 1. So that was much quicker because we had a large prime in there. So let's write 78 as a product of its primes, and that is 2 times 3 times 13. Great, so that is working out the product of their primes. Now we're going to look for this highest common factor. So what we do here is we see what they have in common. Which factors do they have in common? And one way of doing this is just to look at them together, and you can take either this version or it may be easier with this version. And we say, what have they got in common? Well, this has got a 2 and so has that. So they've got a 2 in common. This has got a 3 and so has that. So we can take those out. But if we look now, there is nothing else in common. This one has got an extra 2 2s, but we haven't got those here. This one's got an extra 3, but we haven't got that there. There's a 5, but there isn't one in this. And there's a 13, which isn't in the first. So we can only take out common factors of 2 times 3. So their highest common factor is 6. And we would usually just use the abbreviation highest common factor equals 6. So although they're big numbers, they have a very small highest common factor.